You think you have no discipline, but maybe you're just stuck in a dopamine trap. I didn't realize it back then, but I was drifting. Not because I was lazy, but because I felt lost. I bet you know the feeling, the silence in your head while you scroll and the deafening noise when you're alone, trying to figure out how to make it. It's a paradox because on the outside it's loud while you consume and quiet when you reflect, but inside it's the opposite. Consuming is easy and thinking is hard. And that's exactly what makes it so hard to focus, to move forward, to tap into your potential. But the only way out is through the discomfort, through the storm in your head. And you have to sit with it until the noise fades and clarity returns, because a ship without direction will drift. Most people will skip this, but those who don't usually aren't most people. Your brain will crave the next hit, but if you resist, just once, you might finally hear what you've been avoiding. You know, it wasn't always like that. I studied engineering at one of the top universities, and I used to be insanely focused and driven. But university slowly isolated me, and after graduation, working a job I didn't care about in a place where I didn't feel I belonged, that's when things started to break. No real community, no people that gave me energy, no purpose. Just an endless loop of input, noise, distraction. It felt meaningless and as a waste of my potential. And so, like most people, without realizing it in those moments, I turned to the easiest escape, my phone. Quick hits of dopamine until I couldn't think clearly anymore, until even 10 minutes of focus felt hard. That's what Napoleon Hill called drifting. Living without intention, letting life happen to you. Always busy but never moving. You know, you don't choose anymore, you just float. And I realized I was drifting. Not because I had no potential, but because I didn't have the right people. And suddenly, without realizing, drifting becomes your reality. It becomes your identity. The turning point for me was silence. But not the silence you get from numbing your thoughts with scrolling and fast food dopamine. I mean real silence. I took 5 days away from my phone. Not just from social media, from my phone. I journaled, I walked, I just sat, sometimes for hours, and slowly the noise faded. My thoughts got quieter, clearer. I started seeing me again, the me before the fog, before the scrolling. The real mindset shift though, it wasn't some new morning routine or some fancy productivity hack. It was this. I changed how I saw myself. I changed my identity by willpower and immediately. Because if you identify as someone who is addicted to dopamine, you'll act like it. You'll give in, you'll justify, you'll say, it's just who I am. But identity is a choice. If you say, I'm someone who protects my focus. If you say, I'm not a slave to my phone, that belief becomes a wall, a powerful one. And every time you reach for distraction, you hit that wall and ask, is this really who I want to be? Because when your actions betray your identity, it creates an inner conflict. And that conflict keeps you accountable. This isn't about discipline. It's about becoming someone new. And that starts with what you believe about yourself. Start acting like that version of yourself today. Not perfectly, not all at once, but one step every day. When you sit down, shut the world out and push through. Not for a minute, but for hours. And then you finally break through. You feel something most people have forgotten even exists. That moment of real progress. Earned, not scrolled into. It hits different. It's not loud and it's not fast, but it's deep, real and lasting. You walk away from that kind of work changed, because you didn't just move a project forward, you proved something to yourself, that you're capable, that you are in control, that you're someone who finishes. And that kind of dopamine doesn't vanish in 15 seconds. Hold yourself accountable. When things get hard, don't reach for your phone. When you go to the toilet, don't reach for your phone. You know, this isn't just a mindset, it's a way of life. One that brings your clarity back, your fire back, you back. And if you want accountability, feel free to comment below what step you're going to take today. Not next week, not when life feels easier. Today. And if you're ready to stop drifting and start designing your life, subscribe, because this journey is just beginning. And as always, have a great one. Ciao.